Hi everyone, it's Luke here from Weekend Tour Pros, and today you're joining me out on the golf course. I'm at the park course at my home club of golf at Goodwood, and today I'm going to be telling you my top 5 tips for new and beginner golfers to help you try and fall in love with this beautiful game and hopefully avoid making the same mistakes that I did when I was a new golfer. So we're going to play a few holes and I'll give you the tips on the way. Let's go. Okay, so we've just teed off on the third, hit a bit of a poor drive down the right hand side, hopefully it'll still be in play. It's time for me to give you tip number 1. Now tip number 1 is to start small. Now this is based on a mistake that I see too many new golfers making. They're so desperate to get out on an 18-hole full-size course, and when they do, they realise how difficult golf is, because it is blooming difficult, and they end up struggling, get frustrated, and actually think by the end of it, after 4.5 long hours of slogging around and swiping, this ain't for me. And it's the same in my mind as you just wouldn't run a marathon without doing a bit of training. You just wouldn't. You would do a bit of running, because if you did, it would be absolutely brutal. So tip number 1 is to start slow. And what I mean by this is start by going to the driving range. There's some really cool driving ranges, like the one I'm showing here at Silvermere, with top tracer technology where you can see where your ball's going, learn the distances and all those kind of things. Then you've got things like par 3 courses or pitch and putt courses. We've got quite a few of them where I live, and I'm sure there's one probably near where you live, and that gives you the chance just to learn how to hit the ball 100 to 150 yards, learn how to putt, and learn just to develop some of your basic skill sets. When you've done all of that and you start feeling like you're ready to go onto a full-size course, have a little look locally at the courses that maybe are a little bit shorter, a little bit easier, a bit friendlier. We've got one where I live, it's only about 4,500 yards, which is about 3/4 the length of most golf courses. Lots of short holes, lots of opportunity for you to learn, develop your game. Doesn't take as long, won't feel as difficult. And then when you're ready, then go up to the 18-hole golf course. And I promise you, you'll enjoy it a lot more than you do if you just jump straight in. So tip number 1, start slowly and build yourself up to an 18-hole golf course. So made a nice little par on the last. We've just taken a little 5 wood off the 4th tee we're on now, sorry. We're going up to hit our second shot. It gives me time to tell you about tip number 2. And tip number 2 is go and get a lesson. Too many people, when they're starting golf, or new to golf, beginner golfers, they take tips from their friends, they go on YouTube, try and get tips from brilliant professional golfers out there, but they're not designed to help you with your swing. And whilst I think YouTube is absolutely brilliant, and the teachers on there are absolutely brilliant for teaching you the basics, like how to grip the club, and maybe what each club does, and just some of the real basic fundamentals, what they can't do is look at your swing and give you advice based on your needs. Now I absolutely guarantee if you go to your local PGA professional, who'll be based at your local golf club, he or she absolutely will be able to do that for you. And the great thing is, if you're not comfortable or can't afford to have a lesson on your own, you'll be able to pay to have group lessons or do other things like that. And I can guarantee while you're in that lesson, you will hit at least one golf shot which is better than anything you've ever hit before. And that'll be the thing that gives you that buzz and makes you absolutely desperate to come back, practice and play this beautiful game a bit more. So tip number 2, get a lesson, but not from your mates, not from YouTube, from a PGA professional. Let's go and hit our second onto the green. Finally found a fairway. It's only taken me until the 5th hole, but we're on the fairway. It's time for tip number 3. Now tip number 3 is go and buy yourself some equipment. I'm not advocating that anyone goes and spends £1,000 on golf equipment and buys a whole new brand new golf bag. What I am suggesting though is get something that's your own, whether it's just one club like a putter or your own driver, or even just, you know, maybe a 7-iron or something that's your own that you can practice with. Now the reason I recommend this is once you've got something that's your own, something that you love, you'll really want to use it. And what I'm saying as well here is you don't need to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of pounds. Just go on Gumtree, go on eBay, go and speak to any of your mates that play golf and see if they're willing to sell you anything old that they might have. Just go and get something that's your own, cherish it, learn with it, and then when you're ready, if you fall in love with the game, then you can go and buy something really expensive. Go hard. That was not very good. It's probably good timing that I just hit a really bad golf shot, because it leads me really nicely into tip number 4. Now tip number 4 is simple. Don't compare yourself to your mates when you're a new golfer. If you've got friends or family that have been playing this game for years, the chances are they probably are going to be a little bit better than you. And it's not going to help your golf game to try and compare yourself with them, compete with them, and try and do all of the things that they can do after years of learning this game. I've got friends that are professional golfers, young up and coming tour pros. I've got friends that are playing off of really low handicaps. I've then got friends that play off similar handicaps to myself, and I've also got my wife who plays occasionally off of a handicap of 36. It's much higher than myself. We've all got different levels of ability, but we've just got to enjoy the game. It's us versus the golf course. Can we beat the golf course relative to our ability? Can we have fun? Can we enjoy ourselves? That's the objective. Now I'm not saying you can't learn certain things from your friends. Watch them, see how they attack the course, see how they think strategically, especially if you've got some friends that are really good golfers, but don't try and compete with them. Don't try and copy what they're doing. If they drive at 300 yards and you only drive at 200, you trying to hit it 300 yards, probably going to make your golf game worse, not better. At least that's what I found. So tip number 4, enjoy yourself, but don't try and compare yourself to your mates that have been playing for years. Okay guys, we've made it up to the 8th green. We're ready for the 5th and final tip. So you've built yourself up slowly, you're now playing 18 holes, you've got yourself some equipment, you've had a couple of lessons, and although you're playing with your mates, you're not trying to compare yourself to them too much. Now's the time to go and get yourself a handicap. Now the brilliant thing about golf is it has a handicap system, and what that means is 2 players of very different abilities can play against each other on a level playing field. Think of it as playing a game of tennis against Roger Federer. You've got a 1-set match, but you start with a 5-0 lead because he's a professional tennis player and you're just an amateur. Or maybe it's a race against Usain Bolt and you can start 50 meters closer to the finish line. That would be fantastic. It would give you a chance. It would probably make it really exciting for you. And golf has a handicap system that allows that to happen. Players get a handicap from 0 to 54 based on their ability, and this means that you get a certain number of shots above the par for the course to try and compete against your friends and play matches or any other kind of format. And it's one of the brilliant things about golf. And even better is, since we've had a new world handicap system, lots of countries, including in England, Scotland and Wales, have now made it easy for you to get a golf handicap without having to be a member of a golf club. You can pay somewhere in the region of £40 to £60 a year, download an app, and every time you go out and play golf with one of your friends who's also got an official handicap, you can pop your scores in and just see how you're doing. And like I say, it's you always trying to get better, you against the course, and that's what this handicap will allow you to do, as well as a level playing field against your mates. So tip number 5, go and get yourself a handicap. We're just going to go and putt this out. Once I've done that, I've got a little bonus tip before we leave. Okay, we're coming towards the end of the video now, everyone, and before I just give you that bonus tip, it just reminds me to say, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me. And if you want to see more from Weekend Tour Pros, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got some other tips, I really want to help new and beginner golfers out here. So if you've got some other tips or some better tips, share them in the comment section below, and let's try and spread the word and help all those new golfers out there to get better at golf and enjoy this beautiful game. So now for that bonus tip, hit this chip shot and I'll give it to you. Nice little putt to finish on, made up for the bad chip that I just hit. Now time for that bonus tip. My final tip for the day is watch as much golf as you can. I don't care if that's on social media, on the internet, if it's through the TV, just watch as much as you can, and then you'll realise just how good these men and women are that play professionally. There's a lot you can learn from watching them, from their strategic approach, just to how good they are. I promise you, by watching a lot of golf, you'll take some bits onto the course and it'll help you as a new or beginner golfer just to get a little bit better, a little bit quicker, and maybe help you fall in love with the game just that little bit faster too. Thanks very much, guys. On that note, I'm going to go and steal the remote from the missus, put the PGA Tour on, and have a bit of dinner.